Hi folks, today we're going to work on evaluating rational exponents. Now the reason we have rational exponents is because we need to be able to do something with higher order polynomials and getting those variables alone. So what we're going to start out with is just something very small, very simple, and then work into dealing with getting variables alone where we have bigger exponents instead of just square rooting in squares. So this first one, you'll notice we have 16 to the 3/2. The top part of that exponent, the 3, that's going to stay as an exponent. And then the bottom number tells us what root we're working in. So basically 16 to the 3/2 power means the square root of 16 to the 3rd. Now it doesn't really matter which part goes first, so we're going to start out with taking the square root of 16, because that's simple to do, which would be 4. So the square root of 16 is 4, and then we have 4 to the 3rd. That third power is still there. So 4 to the 3rd, then, if you plug that into your calculator, would be 64. Now, some of you, plugging it into your calculator, it would look something like this, 4 with that caret up to the 3rd. Some of you, it would be 4y to the x 3rd. Okay? On this next example, 32 to the negative 3/5 power, we need to make sure that we remember what exactly a negative exponent does. A negative exponent will automatically flop this to the bottom. So this will actually be 1 over 32 to the positive 3/5 power. Now once again, the top number stays as the exponent, the bottom number will be the root. So what this winds up being is 1 over the 5th root of 32 to the 3rd. Now the 5th root of 32 is very much like the square root of 32, but it's just a little bit bigger. In other words, what number to the 5th power would give us 32? So you could plug that into your calculators. You're going to have to figure out how your individual calculator works, but for most of you, it will be 5, and then there's a button. It's usually a second function that looks like this, the x root of y or the y root of x, and then 32. And when you punch that in, that should give you 2. So the 5th root of 32 is 2. So now we can go ahead and move on with that. So we have 1 over the 5th root of 32. This part right here is just going to be 2. So 1 over 2 to the 3rd. Now you can plug that into your calculator if you need to. 2 to the 3rd is 8. So this whole answer is 1/8. Here we have just a few more examples of the same type of thing. So this first one, 4 to the 5/2 power, again, the top number stays as the exponent, the bottom number is the root, so what this really is the square root of 4 to the 5th. So it depends on which one you want to do first, if you want to do the 4 to the 5th first and then take the square root of that, or take the square root of 4 and then take it to the 5th power. It really doesn't matter. I'm going to take the square root of 4 first, so that's going to be 2. And then I still have that 5th power, so 2 to the 5th I know is 32. The next one over, 9 to the negative 1/2 power, we need to remember what a negative exponent does once again is it flops it to the bottom. So this is actually 1 over 9 to the 1/2 power. And we need to remember, consider the top number stays put, the bottom number is the root, so this is really just 1 over the square root of 9 to the 1st power, which we can reduce down to 1/3. And then this last one, 81 to the 3/4, I want you to go ahead and try that one out. I'm going to give you a little bit of a hint though, the answer is 27. I'd like you to know how to get to that. And these last couple are just here to help you plug these into your calculators. So however you need to plug these into your calculators, it's kind of up to you to figure it out, what your calculator does and how to best do it. But to plug these into your calculator, the answer for this first one would be 1.74 to 2 decimal places. And this other one is going to be 0.0625. I know I broke the rule there. It says to 2 decimal places, but this one is exact, so you should get that. So your assignment is on page 417, numbers 3 to 14 and 21 to 45 odd. Make sure that you practice these. Make sure that you're using the rules of rational exponents, because remember, these numbers aren't going to stick around forever. They're going to turn to variables. So we need to know the rules of these. We need to know how they work. So best of luck to you. We'll see you in class.